Hi everybody, it's Jocelyn Frazier with J. Frazier Photography. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to take a basic and decent photo of your knife to send to me for editing or to use on social media. The three main topics in this video is you're going to learn proper lighting, good angles, and if you want to include a sheath, how to include a sheath. So the first thing in getting a decent photo of your knife is finding proper lighting. And here I'm going to start with a bad example of lighting and what you don't want. Right now we are in direct sunlight, and there's a few reasons why this is bad. The first one is that when you're in direct sunlight, it causes harsh highlights and harsh shadows, which makes you lose details in the knife. So here you can see there's a really harsh highlight in the guard, and the harsh shadows are going to be at the bottom of this knife here. And especially if you're sending your photos to me for editing, these harsh highlights and the harsh shadows, the details usually don't come back very well. So I would tell you to get different pictures. The other reason why direct sunlight is bad is when you look at the steel, it looks gray and washed out and just dark and dull. And that's not something you want. So what you do want is lighting that is even and diffused and not in direct sunlight. So let's go find a place that meets that criteria. Alright, so I found a place that is not in direct sun, and it's going to provide us some fairly even lighting and give us good results for our photos. So here you can see that the whole knife is nicely lit. It's even lighting, there's no harsh highlights, no harsh shadows. The blade looks lighter and more realistic to how it looks in real life. You can see that there's a couple lighting issues, the guard's dark down here, but it's light up there. But that's not a big deal. I mean, that's more easily fixed if it needs fixed. This is the lighting you want. This is absolutely beautiful lighting for photos. The next thing I want to show you is a decent angle for taking pictures of your knife. You have to remember that a knife is a 3D object. It's got lots of angles and shape to it, so you want to try and show those off the best that you can. So how we're going to start is our camera is directly above the knife right now, and we're just going to ever so slightly move our camera just to the left towards the tip of the blade and angle it just a little bit so it's pointing right at that guard. So we're going to go from directly above to just ever so slightly angle it. So let's do that now. We're directly above it, and we've angled it just a little bit. So now we can see the front of that guard right there, and we can tell that's a 3D object just with that. And it really does make a huge difference in your photos, whether it's for social media or it's for sending to me for editing. You really want just a little bit of that guard to show. Now, the mistake that people make is when they change the angle of their camera, they go from directly above it to angling it like that. But that is too much, and let me show you. When you angle it like this, I mean, sure, you can see the front of the guard, no problem. But because your camera is at such an angle, it's distorting the proportions of the knife. So the blade looks longer than it is, it could look thinner or bigger depending on what your knife is, and the handle will look smaller and the shape won't be as good. So start with your camera directly above your knife and angle it just a little bit to just see the front of that guard. And that is all you need. This right here would make a beautiful picture. Now, if you want to include a sheath in your picture to send to me for editing or for social media, that is super easy. If you're going to send it to me for editing, I usually recommend that you take at least 2 pictures. One, your first picture is the tip of the sheath and the tip of the blade are going to be pointing the same direction, and you're going to get a picture of them both together in one photo. This doesn't necessarily have to be a good photo. This will just show me the proper proportions between the knife and the sheath. The second photo is what's most important, and it's you're going to take a picture of the sheath by itself. You're going to move your sheath so that the tip of it is pointing towards you, And then you're going to adjust your camera so that it is directly above the sheath. You don't want to angle it in any sort of way. So you just want to take a picture of it with your camera directly above the sheath. And that is the basics on how to take a decent photo to send to me for editing or to use for your social media. Remember that natural lighting is the best lighting to use. It usually gives the best results, even for people who cannot take a picture to save their lives. Natural lighting, but not in direct sun. Thank you everybody for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos.